Hi, everybody, and welcome to our second instalment of our live stream, keeping you up to date with the fast-moving pace of learning remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting on the land of the Darug people and welcome all Aboriginal people and everybody who's joining our live stream. So we've been talking about the changing environment and what different ways of working that we need to access now that we're working remotely. And I know that the advice that we're being given from the Department of Education that we will probably be in this pattern of remote schooling deep into term 2 and possibly into term 3. It really just depends on how well as a community we respond to the information that we've been given about how to reduce the spread of the virus. And so in this state, we are looking at monitoring attendance differently. And so I want to assure parents that we're keen to be really fair and equitable, but the department has asked us to monitor attendance and base our monitoring on students accessing and completing the work to the best of their ability. Right now, every student has been marked present using an F for flexible learning. So I need to assure parents that if students are struggling to complete the work and they've reached out for support and help through the classroom teacher, then they're going to be marked as present because they're engaging in their learning. And we will do everything we can to put support in place so that that struggle is reduced and so that they, as the weeks go by, find it easier and easier to engage in their learning because teachers are differentiating the work and adjusting it so that their students can learn without, the barriers being present where their learning grinds to a halt. We're going to work really hard with you to overcome that. But we have to acknowledge that there are some students who choose not to access all of the work or part of the work, and we need to adjust their attendance to reflect this disengagement with their learning. And so our process is that each Monday teachers will review the previous week's work that students have provided for them to assess, and teachers will provide feedback to students. So it's important for students learning through the paper-based program to drop their work off at the school on a Friday and also pick up the work for the following week. Students online should also make sure that the week's work is completed by Friday. So let me talk you through what teachers will do so that you're really well aware of what our process looks like. So if I was your child's PE teacher and we have 2 periods in a week, and I set 4 learning activities to be completed each lesson, we've got a total of 8 pieces of work in that week. So when I review my class, if your child completes all of the 8 pieces, then they're going to be marked present for both periods. If your child completes 7 pieces, they'll be marked present for 1 full period and for 45 minutes of the second period of PDHPE. If your child completes 6 pieces, then they'll be marked present for 1 full period and 30 minutes of the second period of PDHPE and so on. So you can see that each of the 8 pieces of work has a 15-minute attendance value associated with them. And so we're going to adjust attendance according to the learning that a child's demonstrated during the week. But I also need to just reinforce that if your child is struggling and they've reached out and they haven't completed the work, then they're not going to be marked as being absent from their lessons. They will be provided with support so that they can continue to engage in their learning. But we would view that as them being really fully engaged in their learning at the level that they can. So you don't need to worry about it being draconian. Our teachers are really supportive of all of our students. And so if you're concerned about, the adjustments that we're making, please just reach out and have a conversation with us, because we're here to really reassure you. This is a space that none of us have been in before, and we want to really navigate it together. You'll know that this afternoon I posted on the NESA, I posted some information on the Facebook page about NESA, and they have let us know that they've cancelled drama group performances, and they've also cancelled TVET work placements. I'm so relieved for our students that those cancellations are in place, because those two aspects of the HSC were causing us enormous concern. And I know that, myself and the teachers concerned were working really hard in the background to give information to NESA about the restrictions that working at home caused on students being able to complete those effectively and to the best of their ability. So you may be wondering about the other areas of the HSC that have major works and projects. And so the NESA board will be meeting next week to review those. And so there'll be some advice either late next week or early into the holidays, but be rest assured that as soon as that information comes out, we'll get it to you. And so as we start to think about term 2, obviously we're looking at the reporting process and assessments. And as you know, we're adjusting assessments so that they can be completed at home, and we've had some assessments that have been completed this week. We're a little concerned that some of those assessments were missed by a few students, and so we're working individually with families to make sure that students keep on top of their assessment requirements. And one of the best resources is, your assessment handbook. Every student 7 to 12 has one of these, and we follow that schedule really closely. So whilst we will be adjusting assessment, we won't be cancelling it. So it's really important that students pay attention to those schedules. So the Department of Education will be looking at semester 1 reports, and they'll be giving us some advice either late this term or early next term about how we're going to proceed with those. So that's it from me this week. And as we get more information, I'll be using a range of our platforms to give that to you, either by our live stream or through the Facebook page or through emails to families. So thanks so much for all of your positive feedback. You're doing a great job. I'm so thrilled that our students have taken to this as well as they have. For those students who are struggling, please know that we're going to get better and better at supporting your needs through this process. We're all on a really steep learning curve, but what I know is that students, parents, teachers, we've all embraced this challenge, and we're going to come out of this pandemic with some really amazing skills, and learning at Cambridge Park is going to look completely different going forward. So we're going to be able to add in all of the wonderful things that we're missing right now, in terms of group work and having students in classes, but the skills that we're learning in this digital environment, we're going to continue to use those because they're really proved very valuable. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated, and look forward to a time in the future where we can all be back together in a school, because I can tell you now it seems very strange to be in a school with no kids. And I know that teachers are missing that interaction with their students, and I hope that the students are missing us a little bit too. So I'll say bye for now, and hope you enjoy the rest of the live stream. Thanks. Bye now.
Hello, this is an instructional video on how to generate a pairing code for a parent or guardian as a student. As a student, you can generate a pairing code to link an observer to your Canvas account. You must create a separate pairing code for each observer who wants to link to your account. An observer may be your parent, guardian, or another individual who needs to view your Canvas course. Linked observers can view and participate in certain elements of your Canvas course. Once you've logged in through your student account through your student portal, you need to click on Accounts. You need to go down to Settings. Once in Settings, you need to slide over to the right-hand side and click on Pair with Observer. A unique code should appear. This code needs to be recorded and given to your parents or recorded by your parent or guardian for the next step in the process. Hello, this is a guide on how to sign up for a Canvas account as a parent. Parents can sign up as an observer in Canvas. Observers can link their Canvas accounts to their student's account so they can see assignment due dates, announcements, and other course content. Observers can view the course content but cannot participate in the course. This lesson is for parents who do not have a Canvas account and want to observe their students in their course. In order to create a Canvas account, please go to the Cambridge Park Student Parent Portal. Once there, you can select the link for Canvas, which will take you to a login page. Once on the login page, you need to click to create an account. When you are there, you need to put in your name, an email address, password, and then confirm the password, as well as putting in the unique student pairing code. Then insert your pairing code and click Start Participating. Thank you.
This is a video for students on how to navigate Canvas. So once the student logs in to Canvas using the student portal, they will come to their dashboard, which will look very similar to this. Students will be following their timetable. So for example, if they have history period 1, they would need to go and find their Year 7 history course and click on the icon. That will then take them to their class homepage, which will look like this. So on the right-hand side is a to-do list of activities that the student may be required to do. So Mr. Rothery has put a couple of to-do items in the list for the students. It's also where students can access any announcements that the teacher may have posted. So Mr. Rothery has made an announcement to the class thanking those students that are doing some fantastic work in Canvas and to encourage them to keep going. So that is where they'd access that information. To access their modules, they can either go through the modules link on the left-hand side here, or they can click on the coursework tile here. And this will bring up all the modules of work that the teacher has posted. So they can go through from top down, but I'm just going to click on the work on Uluru here. Now, Mr. Rothery has given information about Uluru, which the student would need to read. And then there are some other links to websites. So this is a link to a YouTube video which the student would need to watch. Okay, I'd close that and go back. There's also a link to some external websites. Okay, so once I've completed that page, I'd click next to go to the next section of this module. And this is a discussion. So Mr. Rothery has asked the students to read an external web page and then identify 3 things they would be interested in doing. So the student would write their reason, so their 3 reasons, whatever they would be. Okay, and they would post the reply. If they've written perhaps any answers in their books that the teacher would like to see, they can also attach documents this way. So if a student has written their answers to a question in their book and they wanted to take a photo with their smartphone and upload it or attach a Word document, they can also do it via this section. So I might, as a student, decide to attach my Word document for these questions. So I just find the Word document or the PDF that related to what I need to upload, click it, push open. It would show up, and then I would post the reply. So my reply would show with my answers to the question. Then I'd move on to the next part, and this has been put as a learning activity which needs to be submitted so that Mr. Rothery can see students' progression of their learning. So the students need to answer a number of questions here, okay, and the relevant information which they're going to use to research has all been attached, hyperlinked above here. So the student would submit their assignment. So again, I would recommend that the student creates their assignment in a Word document, which then they would upload here. So again, I'll just show you. So they're going to upload their Word document. So it appears here. Okay, they might add a comment, say, "Hi, Mr. Rothery, please see attached my assignment," and then they would submit the assignment. If a student is using Google Apps for Education, they may also go through their Google Drive and upload the file also that way. So I'm going to submit my assignment. And that has shown here on the right-hand side that I've submitted my assignment on the 2nd of April, 11:06. Then you continue to go through the modules. So now we're moving on to Lake Mungo. Okay, and you continue to go through and complete the activities as required. Okay, so this activity is a quiz that the students need to complete. So I'd click Take the Quiz. There is a timer, okay, which tells you how long you've been completing the quiz for, and it tells you what time you have started it. So I need to read the instructions carefully to know what's required of me. So it says, "Please use the information on this page. You will be required to view this information to answer the questions in the quiz." So this is a link to an external website. And the information has come from the previous page. So I'd need to read the previous page that Sir has set for me, read that information, and then complete the quiz. So I'd go through each of the questions. need to read them and then click my answer and continue on until the end and submit the quiz. So because I have not answered all of the question, it comes up as a prompt, but I'm just going to submit this anyway. Okay, and it's told me that I got 1 out of 10 correct. And then it will go through and tell you which ones you got correct and which ones you either didn't answer or didn't get the correct response for. So I'm going to go back to the home page. Okay, if there's any assessments that teachers have posted, you can access these through the Assessments tab. Okay, but for this particular course, nothing has been posted via that platform at the moment, but all of the work is being done through modules. So students need to access modules to access the online learning. So that's the first thing that I would encourage them to do. I hope this video has been useful. If you have any questions, please contact the school either via the school email address or by phoning the school phone, which is 4731 6722. Thank you. This is a video to show students how to send emails to their teachers and how to also attach work that may be required to that email. So once you're on your dashboard, you'll see on the left-hand side here that there is an inbox icon down the bottom. If you click on that, it will bring up your inbox for Canvas. Now you can send a message to your teachers. So for example, if Mr. Rothery was my teacher, I'd like to send him an email. So I'd pick his name. Okay, I would put a subject which would be work that is due, for example. Okay, and then I would put in, just say, dear sir, here's my work for this week. I would go down to the paperclip icon down the bottom to attach an item. So if you click on that, okay, it will bring up your work. So for example, I might like to go into, I might have my work for Aboriginal Studies, okay, and then I would attach whatever work it was needed. Okay, it will show up here, and then I would click send. And that will send that to Mr. Rothery. The other thing that I'd like to show you is how to change your notifications, because if you get an email through Canvas, it will also send you a notification to your department email address. So if I go to account, so you click on your profile picture if you have one up the top here, okay, and you will go down to the section that says notifications. So anything that has green on it is turned on. Okay, so I would like to turn off the notifications I receive about emails being sent to me. So you need to go down to the conversation section. So conversation message, okay, I have turned that off. Okay, if I'd like it on, I just click the tick and it is turned on. To turn it off, you click the cross. Okay, if you'd like a summary or about how many emails either the student or student has been sent, you'd click on the calendar and the summary. This is a video for students at Cambridge Park High School on how to access Microsoft Teams or MS Teams to support their online learning. The first thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to either go to Google or just start typing into the address bar Microsoft or MS Teams and do a search. The first website that comes up is the correct one, so you need to click on Microsoft Teams. And you'll need to sign in. So the sign-in process is the same for Microsoft Teams as it is for Canvas. So if you've previously logged into Canvas, you'll know that this is using your department email and your password. So if you have not previously logged on to Canvas yet, it would be your first name, a dot, your last name, a number if you have a number, at education.nsw.gov.au. Now, as a teacher, mine is different, so I do not need to put education, so that's why mine looks different. It will then take you to another page where you need to put in your username and password. So this is without the at education.nsw.gov.au. Now, if you have more than one student logging into the computer, I'd recommend not selecting Stay Signed In because it will remember your password and just automatically sign you in every time. So once you get into Microsoft Teams, you'll be brought to a dashboard. And if you are part of any teams at the moment, they will show up here. So particularly for senior students, if your teachers have already added you in, this is where your classes will be. So the first thing that I'd like to show you is the chat option. So you click on chat, you'd create a new chat. So this is where you might want to interact with your teacher if you have a question. If you don't necessarily want to ask it through the inbox feature of Canvas, you can also do it via MS Teams. So if you start typing in the teacher's names, oh sorry, that was so for example, if I wanted to send, if Miss Camille was my teacher and I wanted to send her a message, I would start typing her email address into the to section and then click on her name. And then I would be able to send her a message asking if I had any questions or I need support for my work. The other option that the students will be using is the Teams option. So this is where the year meetings are taking place. So a student would need to click on the appropriate team that they'd like to join. So this is my Year 12 class. You can see here that there's, it brings up the feed of what's been happening, okay? As a teacher, I can post files. So it might be a PowerPoint that I want to talk about with the students. And there is also the option down here, which you'll be using to join the class. So it's a camera, which says Meet Now. So I'd click on this as a student. Now, you don't need to turn your camera on, but you definitely need to use your microphone so that the teacher and the other classmates can hear you when you're taking part in the meeting. So I have turned my camera off, okay, but I'd like to join my class now. So again, I'd pick Meet Now. Okay, so at the moment, obviously I'm the only person in the class, all right, but you'll see other classmates on the side here and who is on and who isn't. You can turn off your microphone if you don't wish for people to hear you at that moment in time. You just click the microphone and click mute. Obviously, when you want to ask a question, you turn it back on. You can also turn your camera on and off. So you click there, okay, and it'll just show up with your initials. The conversation, so if you want to be chatting with people whilst you're having the team meeting, that is what you would click there. And then to leave the meeting, you would hang up, just like it's like a phone call, so you'd click hang up. And you would leave the meeting, okay? There's also the feed, all right, the activity feed, but the icons and the options that students will be using are the Teams and the chat. Then to sign out of Microsoft Teams, once you're finished using it, okay, you'd click on your initials in the top right-hand corner and go down to the sign out. Now, before I do that, I'd just like to say that there's also a mobile app option that you can use, so you can actually access Microsoft Teams using a smartphone if you have a smartphone. This would be particularly good if there's more than one student in the household, and there might be a need to use that as opposed to the computer, so someone else can use it. So you sign out, okay, and you wait until it actually signs you out fully. Okay, once it says you signed out of your account, you close down the page, and then you'll go back to Canvas and do your work there. Thank you for listening.